Andrew Green with the super chat here. You know what? I'm going to get these super chats a little closer. He says, on the remix convo from last show, what do y'all think about Nas? Yeah, where are they now remixes, the 80s, West Coast, etc. Most people hate hip-hop is dead, but Nas showed OGs a lot of love on those songs. You know what? When we were talking about remixes, I was thinking about that. Those remixes were dope. They were kind of like
didn't King T get on one of them?
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
They were kind of like legacy type of things. I mean, it wasn't the most memorable per se, but it was showing love. And I think that there could be more of that in hip hop too.
Right.
Jay Short with the super chat. Oh man, I got to figure out a better way to do these. All right, Jay Short says, happy hump day, fellas. It is that time for Andre versus Big Boy features battle. Outkast songs excluded, of course.
Ooh.
I like that idea.
Ooh.
I like that idea. I think the Big Boy's feature game is understated, but I would have to put a caveat in there and say, if we're going to use Andre and Big Boy features, we have to use records that neither one of them were on with each other, if that makes sense.
No, I'm okay with using the records that have them together on it, because I'll give you an example. Everybody knows my dear friend Andrew, who I do the Mirror Music 99 podcast with. We just did Sweet Home Alabama and AT-Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I think Big Boy has the better verse on AT-Aliens. Big Boy's first verse is better than Andre's verse.
My oral illustration be like tutorial stimulation to the female gender.
Yeah, but Big Boy's, but I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Oh, hell, there he go again, talking that shit, being.
Well, you know what?
A curve. I struck a nerve, and now you about to see that Southern player serve. I heard it's not where you from, but where you pay rent. Then I heard that it's not what you make, but how much you spent. You got me bent like elbows.
Amongst other things, but I'm not worried. I think Big Boy.
See what I'm saying? How Big Boy be snapping and we just skip over it? We know who wrote the hook. And so I'm totally okay with putting Big Boy right next to Andre, even on a feature thing. Because here was the thing that I was stressing. Not to Andrew, because Andrew knows it, because he's a big music lover and an Outkast fan and has been doing this podcast thing with me and follows according to hip hop. Man, this talk that Andre is somewhere over here and Big Boy is over there, like I'm on a personal mission to make it stop. Like the way that I want to educate people about Fire's disease and mental health, it's like, no, vote for Big Boy right next to Andre. Because there's not that separation. If one guy's 12 on your list, the other guy's like 18.
Well, you know where that conversation comes from, where it starts from.
It's Ray and Ghost. It's Kissing Styles.
Well, that conversation kind of starts from New York, and we're about to talk about Andre, and I know that I want to get this, though, before we jump into that. Who you got tonight?
Give me Denver.
You got Denver tonight. I got Miami tonight. Miami's going home.
Back and forth series.
Okay.
I think each team's going to win back and forth.
Okay, they think they're going to grab one at home. Okay. All right, well, since we're talking about Andre, and I want to answer what you were just talking about with the whole separation between Big Boy and Andre. I've always said that separation starts at Speaker Box Love Below because of the effort musically that Andre put in the Love Below in relation to the possible effort that Big Boy put in the Speaker Box. Speaker Box, very feature heavy. Andre is showcasing himself. But that rap part of it, I really feel like that kind of starts in New York. And I hate to pull in this whole New York thing. I think the East Coast, quote unquote, bias in journalism and hip hop favors Dre more because he sounds stylistically more like them. And we're seeing that with this Billboard list, too. 8 Ball and MJG just got shitted on in this list, in my personal opinion. And I see a correlation between Southern acts that have Southern slang and take on their Southern roots in relation to their counterparts that take on more of an East Coast-centric style. Am I tripping?
I want to circle back around to the whole Andre thing with the whole New York thing, because Andre sounds succinctly Southern.
Yes.
In a way that you and I don't.
Yeah.
But he don't sound Southern like Big Boy, do he?
Mm-mm. Or Pimp C.
Or Big Gip.
No. Or Cujo.
Or 8 Ball.
Yeah.
Definitely
or MJG. Yeah.
Right. And so there is our two greatest MCs sound Southern. Our two greatest Southern MCs sound Southern, but they don't sound succinctly Southern, and that's Scarface and Andre.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that they're lauded and applauded in New York.
What about Tip and Wayne? What do you think about them
Tip and
in
Wayne
the conversation?
country, though. I mean, Tip got a twang.
Yeah.
Wayne's just got a different voice, period.
Yeah.
His voice is just period different.
Louisiana's just a whole different place.
Right.
Because everybody over there has way different voices.
I told you, it's a pigeon.
Yeah.
Not the bird. Look up what a pigeon is. P-I-D-G-I-N, a pigeon. It's a succinct form of dialect. Nothing describes a pigeon like New Orleans. And the melting pot, the gumbo pot that it is of just styles, culture, races, ethnicities, just all of that. So, yes. So there is something to be said for that. Think about it. It's like Scarface, Cool G Rap records, Nas records, J records. Andre pretty much kind of like the same thing for his era. Go listen to them vocally. You can tell that they're from down here, but it's not as identifiable. Like, how about this? When the Source was rating Soul Food and giving it its review, which was improperly rated, which, you know, is a whole nother conversation. They ended the article by saying, and the country accents are cool too. They didn't say.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah. You don't remember that? Go look that up.
I'm going to look that up. That's crazy.
So it's almost like, it was kind of like one of those things where it was like, are they saying that in a positive way?
It's like British accents to Americans.
It's right. It's like, yeah, it's like the New Yorker kind of like judging the Southern accent from afar. Like, yeah, the accents are cool too. Yeah. Like it's almost like, damn, we were surprised these country ass niggas could rap this well. They don't treat Andre like that. They don't treat Face that way.
Yeah. I mean, because people correlate Southern slang and Southern accents to stupidity, right? And so I think that's probably where that was coming from in that Goody Mob review. Because they were speaking to some intellectuals with Southern accents. Right. They weren't used to that.
Well, let's go to Nas on Get Down. Southern niggas ain't slow. Nigga tried to play me. I left from around them dudes. They cool, but they crazy.
Mad Max with the super chat says, got love for Cardi, but dissing the Princess Lady Spice in Summer Jam is a wonk. This is why Spice sides with Nicki. I think this Ice Spice I think Cardi went out there and said she wasn't dissing her. Now, what did she say, though? Dane with the super chat says, do y'all hold entendres high? I feel like when used correctly, it could be fire. But other times it seems like a reach. It doesn't really connect. This is what I think about entendres, and we'll get back on subject. But
we're back on literary devices.
Yeah, my thing with entendres is, yes, for certain artists, they can be a reach, right? And I think with certain MCs, people like the privileged rappers. If y'all look at our previous episode, y'all know who I feel like are privileged rappers. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but for some of them, people will reach for them. But if somebody like 2 Chainz does a double entendre, it just goes over people's heads. So I think that double entendres can be overrated because people aren't consistent with who they actually analyze that part of their lyrical abilities with.
I've been on this show saying this for roughly the past year. Somebody's really going to have to explain to me how Jay-Z's operating on an entendre level that Method Man's not operating on. That every time Jay drops entendres, people literally dissect it like it is some sort of institution, like it's a class that gets taught in some sort of Ivy League university. Method Man does this shit more regularly than Jay now, and nobody says a word.
I want to clarify, though, Jay-Z was not on my privileged rappers list. I want to invite to the brunch. So
we're not going to no damn brunch. First of all, you want to know what? I realized something. I'm not even really a brunch person, okay? And what are they serving at the brunch? I mean, is it like salmon croquettes? I mean, we getting like lamb lollipops. Is there like escargot? Like what? Little ahi tuna, some sashimi, some edamame. I mean, what are we doing?
Well,
some blistered shishitos. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing for the brunch exactly?
Well,
what type of champagne and bubbly are we putting in the mimosas? Like, is it
I've never had Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades is overrated as a champagne. Take it for somebody that's had it.
I've never had it, you know. And we got ad space here, so if somebody wants to, put an Ace of Spades here.
After I get done shitting on some of these champagne companies, it's not going to be them. Ace of Spades isn't that good. The bottle's just pretty. Shame on all of y'all for following Jay.
What do y'all think out there? Y'all like Ace of Spades and Cristal?
Cristal and Ace of Spades is not good champagne.
I've had Cristal. I've had Cristal. Doesn't really do anything for my palate. All right, but Killer Mike announced that he has a feature from Andre 3000 on this new album. And Killer Mike is dropping his first solo album in, 12, 13 years, something like that? At least 10.
No, hold on. Didn't
I think rap music was
2013.
It was 2012, I think. I think it was the same year as Life is Good, I believe.
12 or 13. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been about a 10, 11.
And he announced that he has an Andrè 3000 feature. And then he was saying that Andrè was reluctant to get on the record because he said it sounded like a typical rap record. And when he said that, I thought about Jay Short and how Jay Short makes it a point, and he's right about this, to say that people like Andrè consistently kind of shit on rap in a way where it's like there's levels to it and rap isn't good enough for him anymore. But anyway, that's the quote from Killer where he said, Dre said that it was a typical rap record, and then he heard the person that was singing the hook on it, and then Dre said, okay, I'm down to get on the record or down to put it out. And it made me think that I don't think he's ever gotten an Andrè verse before.
Let's pause right quick.
It's a lot there, yeah.
What the hell would Andrè 3000 know about making a typical rap record that makes him the judgment bearer of that?
Well, yeah, he's never made a rap song.
No, I'm not joking. He's
right.
one half of Outkast, and he doesn't have any solo material. Who the hell is he to talk about anybody making a typical rap song? We got to start looking at things fundamentally for what they are, because when we talk about him, well, really, our critique of him is that, well, not only do you not make rap songs, but we don't even know if you can make typical rap songs.
What is a typical rap song? Right. And yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about it from that vantage point. I'm sitting there thinking about the fact that he finally got a verse. But yeah, Dre.
Damn all that. Damn your verse.
What is a typical rap song? Is he talking about like?
Who are you in the canon of this hip hop lexicon to sit up there and audit the circumstances of Killer Mike shit like that? We don't know if you can make a typical rap song.
Well, it's true, because Killer Mike does actually have a catalog of music where he's made rap songs by himself. Right. And when that man sends you a record, you say it's a typical rap song as if you have a plethora of individual typical rap songs
when you have none.
To your name.
When you have none. Because even what Outkast does, and part of why they are our best genre-bleeding hip-hop group. They don't do typical hip-hop.
Right.
So what would you know about a typical rap record?
Well,
like, what does he know about getting on the mic and busting that shit open for 3 verses and a hook? That's what I look at when I say a typical rap record.
You know, I think...
What does he know?
This is my personal opinion, right? And I remember when Killer Mike dropped Monster. And I know that the Dungeon family, as a whole, they were kind of in their experimental funk phase. And I couldn't help but think he was being done a disservice from a production standpoint based on where the crew was at the time. Killer Mike signs to these guys in 98, 97. He has a whole different album that might fit better with what he does. So to sit there and say typical rap song, you want him to fit into what you do, and that might not be what's best for him as an artist.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's go. Mike, Rosa Parks isn't a typical rap song. Elevators, not a typical rap song. AT-Aliens, not a typical rap song. Bombs Over Baghdad is the poster child for what is a atypical rap song.
Right.
Miss Jackson, So Fresh, So Clean. Their whole hit structure is making the antithesis to a typical rap song. What does this guy know about it? You see how you can elevate somebody so high that you miss the bullshit they say? Like, he's so elevated that it's like this is literally passing over people's head. It's like, that guy don't know how to make a typical rap song because he ain't never made one by himself or within the framework of his group. The closest thing they got to a typical rap song is Spaghetti Junction or Ain't No Thing.
And those are great records.
Or Benz or Abima.
Benz or Abima is a great record.
Right.
And it kind of gives you a window into the fact that he didn't want to make any more Benz or Abima. He don't want to make any more Hootie Hoos for y'all.
Yeah. The typical rap records that they made is some of their best stuff, and it didn't get done.
What is Screwed on the Barbie do?
That's not a typical rap record.
Okay.
Old school players to new school fools. Cass got you jumping like kangaroos. We skew it on the Barbie. We ain't trying to lose. How it go? They say, I'll be goddamn it. What? They done changed the rules.
Yeah.
He's even telling you in the hook that it's not typical.
I don't know what the definition of a typical rap song is, but this is what I will say. I think
he's a great MC. It's just like the genius rhetoric surrounding him. It's like, no. We need some rap songs. So you don't need to be talking to Killer Mike like you're some sort of rap genius. We don't know if you can make a typical rap song, period. As an artist.
What is Mamacita?
Like I said, we don't know if him, as an artist, can make a typical rap song. Where's his typical rap song? Because when I think typical rap song, I'm like,
it's Keep It Thorough, a typical rap song. Like,
I thought of Keep It Thorough.
Okay.
Keep It Thorough was the first thing that I thought of. I was like, because it ain't even got no hook. It ain't even nothing really special going on. It's just P hitting the mic and getting busy the way P get busy. if somebody in this chat put in a day of the life of Andre Benjamin, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Well, see, this is the problem, right?
If I hear somebody say that record one more time, you know why everybody say that record? Because this is the only record we got.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because if we actually had real records, they wouldn't even think about that record.
But all I'm
it's
saying
not
is,
even it's a song, but you know what I mean.
So Andre, it's a typical rap song. I was like, what would you know about that? It's like I look at The World Is Yours as a typical rap song. Dead Presidents is a typical rap song.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with those songs?
Exactly.
What's wrong with Juicy?
Yeah. What's wrong with Juicy? What's wrong with One More Chance?
Yeah. What's wrong with those
What's
records?
wrong with Who Shot You?
Right.
As a song, that is. We know what's wrong with it otherwise. But
Very problematic what it is.
Leroy Green with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Coop, I got invited into a live last month for a surprise pull-up. When I got on, it was Big Gip. He said Andre told him he's done everything as a rapper and feels there's nowhere else to go artistically. I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying that's false. He could say whatever he wants to, but that's not true.
Look here.
You haven't done everything as a rapper. You haven't. He's the only you haven't even done a single song with you and 3 verses and a hook. What you mean you've done everything?
I
what you mean?
Like, I really do admire the way that the Dungeon family, specifically like Gip and
they're
Big
incredible
Boy,
brothers.
They're incredible brothers at protecting this brother. But I'm sorry, he says stuff like this, and it's just such a turnoff. It is. It's like, I would prefer, how about this? If you don't want to rap, stop talking about it too.
Stop allowing us to talk about it. You know, I would like if Dre said, you know what, man, don't put me in your top whatever. I don't even make songs. I'm in a group. If you want to put Outkast top, cool. But me as an individual, I ain't got the work that Nas got. I ain't got the work that Rakim got. I ain't got the work KRS got. I know.
I keep trying to tell you, these quote unquote woke guys, no, they got egos. They like the attention. They like the women, just like the other guys.
They're men, just like the rest of us.
They're men. So all this, Andre don't like the attention. That's a damn lie.
Well, if that were the case, he wouldn't be in the overall uniform whenever he goes out to be seen.
He literally wears stuff to be seen, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing
It's a
here?
uniform.
So let's cut the whole humility, starving artist, not interested in hip-hop act.
And that's cool. You're a star.
I'm
it
going
is
to just
what it
start
is.
calling a spade a spade. You don't have what it takes as a solo MC and rap artist.
How could we say otherwise?
No, there is nothing else to go off of. That's what your career is. You don't have what it takes. Stop talking like you do.
LP with the super chat says, man can only tell us what a typical flute song is. Allegedly.
See the shade? You see
I
the
still
shade?
haven't, look, man, I mean, I see him with the flute, but have you heard him play the flute? No.
I mean, I hope he's getting good at it. He's spending so much time doing it.
And we say this respectfully as fans.
I'm not saying this
of
respectfully.
Cass.
I'm saying it right back the way that he kind of pitched it. It's like he kind of kicked it out arrogant. I'm going to kind of kick it back to him arrogant. You don't know how to make a rap song, my dude.
A typical rap song at that.
No, we don't know if he knows how to make a rap song by himself.
This is who I was waiting to hear from. Jay Short with the super chat says, Marvin and Stevie didn't want to make typical R&B. They fought Motown and innovated. Curtis Mayfield didn't want to make typical R&B. He left the impressions, but rappers can't innovate?
What has he done that's innovative? What rap songs y'all talking about that Andre got that's innovative? What am I missing here?
We're giving him Outkast's catalog.
Right. Why are people... Okay, so let's stop having the Andre conversation. Oh, you talking about the stuff Outkast did?
Exactly.
That's not Andre.
What do you think this Killer Mike song is going to sound like?
To be honest with you, Mike, I'm not even super excited about it.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not super excited either. I'm excited for us to talk about it.
Because here's what
that's not going to save the year or something,
this?
you know?
Here's what it is when he pulls up like he's been pulling up for the last 20 years with this verse shit. It's like, oh, Andre did a great verse. It's like, okay, show me something I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, so, you know, and this is what I mean about how like the thing can get elevated to the point of it being faulty. It's like all everybody's talking about now is the fact that, well, you know, Andre's guest verse, you know, this is the first guest verse since the great verse on Donda. And it's like, oh, stop it. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like somebody like Method Man does this shit weekly. and nobody says anything.
Yeah.
You're literally bringing up a verse from Donda for 2 years ago to elevate this man. It's like there was a verse from 2 years ago, and don't nobody remember, and it wasn't that good, Mike. It was just okay.
There was a time period where
it was just okay too.
You did say that.
It was just the content and the subject matter that he was using. The verse wasn't all that.
There was a time period, and maybe it's because I've gotten older or whatever, but there was a time period when Dre dropped something, I knew that verse front to back because it was great. You just mentioned, Sleepy Brown's Can't Wait. Mm-hmm. Both of them were on that, but I remember when he got on there, I was like, oh yeah, this is that. Same thing with International Players Anthem. Same thing with Royal Flush. Great verse. I don't feel that way anymore.
You want to know why? Because this is all he.
This stuff ain't as great as that stuff. That's just the bottom line. But people will have you thinking there was never really a drop off with him, even with the features.
Let me submit something to you. What if I told you this guy is a one-trick pony? And we all keep falling from the same trick, and that's why I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested in your little one verse every 2 year trick anymore. Keep your verse. I'm not interested in it anymore. You've been doing it for 20 years. You want to excite me as somebody who loves you and is a fan of your shit? Make a typical rap song. Because I know that you know how to do this. That's what I mean. It's like people don't even understand the past that they're giving this man right now by letting him do this and lauding every
and
time
say
he comes
these
along.
Things.
It's like, oh, he has a great verse. He had 2 years to write it, Mike.
Is West Savannah a typical rap song?
Mike, if you give me 2 years to write a verse, I can go spit with him.
Well, he also has that curve. That curve that people are grading him on because of his legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2 years to write a verse. Mike, when we did our cypher verse, I wrote that verse in 45 minutes. I left it alone, and then I started practicing.
Jay Short with the super chat says,
"Nigga be having 2 years to write a verse. Everybody be like, Andrè got a great verse." It's like, I know he better have a great verse. We haven't heard him rap in 19 months.
Jay Short with the super chat says, as much as I joke about Run the Jewels, if Andrè didn't want a typical rap, why did he jump on one with those Run the Jewels records? Yeah, Killer Mike tried to innovate at least.
Hold on.
And that's true.
Hold on. Why he ain't on Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper since he want to be so innovative?
You're right. I mean, and Jay Short's right too. Mike H says that's fair, Coop. But yeah, Jay Short is completely right. Run the Jewels doesn't make typical rap records. That's why a lot of hip-hop audiences really don't fuck with what they're doing. He had all the time in the world to jump on any of those 3 albums. If you want to be innovative, hold
on. Yeah. If you want to innovate, and since you're so creative and you're such a genius, why don't you be the one making the innovative song instead of having to piggyback off of somebody else's creative genius for 20 years to do your verse? This is what he did in Outkast. This is what I mean about him being a one-trick pony. You've been listening to me talk for years about how Big Boy held it down. Mm-hmm. What's the first 2 singles on AT Aliens again? Elevators, AT Aliens. How the hook go?
Yeah, Big Boy hooks. Me and you, your mom and your cousin too.
Every day I sit while my nigga be in school.
Thinking about the second album at the Dungeon Shooting Pool.
His whole career has been built off spinning off of other people's ideas, and it's time that he gets called out for it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it in those ways.
He creatively, his well is shallow. He's been in Big Boy's well, and he goes to artists for features to get into their well. He don't have a well. Well, so stop talking like you're that dude. Oh, this is a typical rap song. Nigga, show that you can rap typically, consistently, on your shit, with your creative ideas.
Yeah.
I know what Big Boy's creative genius looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over Outkast shit and his shit. We still don't know where his creative... This is what I'm saying. He gives you flashes. Here's what I mean, flashes. 2 Dope Boys, Wheels of Steel, Aquemini. What's the other one? The song Aquemini?
Mm-hmm.
Skewing on the Barbie. No, he gives you flashes, but we don't know if you're consistent. And it just looks like you piggyback on the creativity of your right-hand man and of the artist whose songs that you cherry pick because they applaud you.
And you can sit here and choose what songs and what songs to not get involved with. You heard that So Fresh So Clean story?
Yes.
Where Organized Noise was saying, well, for the people out there who haven't heard it, Organized Noise said, they made So Fresh So Clean. And Andrè told them that he wasn't going to get on it until they put a bass line on it. Similar to this Killer Mike story, right? So Big Boy and Sleepy Brown, they done put So Fresh So Clean together. He's sitting here cherry picking whether he's going to jump on the song or not. They put a bass line in it and he puts his part in there. That's why on these Outkast albums, you have these songs that he's not on. He's not on Decatur's song. He's not on West Savannah. He's not on Slump. He's not on Love These Hoes. It's on Stankonia. He takes time. He cherry picks. Big Boy's on every song.
I told you, his creative well is shallow. He uses Big Boy and other artists to fill up his cup. Yeah. You don't know what his cup look like, but it don't runneth over with great verses thought from the inner soul of him. That what it don't do.
T Nitty with the super chat
He's great
says,
at rapping over Big Boy's hooks though, Mike. You heard the verse on Elevators? He's great piggybacking off of Big Boy.
And you know what? He shows up when Big Boy's in the building too, just like with song I was just talking about, Royal Flush. Yeah, he shows up when Big Boy's in the building.
Big Boy's creative well.
Yeah.
Splendid oasis.
T Nitty with the super chat says, Cast without Dre is Big Boy's solo career. Message. Andrè Green with the super chat says, glad Coop brought up meth. He gets penalized on the list but for subpar solo works, but 3,000 is heralded without any solo works. Doesn't make any sense. Within the group of constraints, these talents are comparable, and that they're not comparable because Method Man actually has Bring the Pain. He actually has I'll Be There For You, but you're right. He gets penalized for what Takal wasn't.
Hold on, and we're going to move on after this. You mean Method Man has a typical rap love song and a typical rap hardcore record?
Exactly. Jay Short with the super chat says, uncomfortable question is typical rap code for something else, or should we take him at face value? Yeah, what does typical rap mean? I don't know. All right, we'll leave it there.
It's very problematic that he said typical rap song.
Yeah. But anyway, Nicki Minaj has announced that she is dropping her solo effort.
Yes.
Well, not solo effort. She's been solo.
I mean, I think the new thing to do is to take 3 months to do your rollout now, like it's 1999, like literally like it's 1999.
Like it's 1999. She's dropping her first solo album in 5 years in October. Now, it's kind of hit with a lot of mixed reviews because I feel like
they saying cut up my mic, guys, to match Mike D's level, or is that just my voice not being as high as Mike's?
yeah, my shit carries.
Right,
man.
I'm about to say Mike's voice travels, guys. So
yeah, I got in trouble in school just for talking regular, man.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll project a little bit more for everybody so that I can match some of Mike D's microphone intensity.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, she's dropping her first album in 5 years. The announcements kind of hit with mixed reviews because we know Nicki obviously doesn't play nice. And I wrote this dissertation back in 2018 when she released Queen.
I remember.
That she was done, right? And so I'm looking forward to what she's about to drop, even though she's been dropping singles pretty much since 2018 and none of it's really connected. But my question and what we got in this big debate about earlier in the studio before you got here, Coop, what's Nicki's legacy look like? And yeah, I'm gonna ask you that, and then I'll say my piece. Like on an all-time list, all-time female list, what does her legacy look like?
See, I see everybody in this chat now trying to use Outkast's resume to tell Andrè job well done. No, that's Outkast job well done. Andre's job ain't done. Big Boy's job is done. Yo, what y'all not about to do is pull up on this show and give this nigga a pass on us. He not.
Yeah, that's like giving Five Tribes catalog.
Yeah. Big Boy's job is done. Andrè job ain't done. Stop talking like it is. His job ain't done. We don't know creatively who he is, so his job's not done. We know who creatively Big Boy is. His job is done. So stop saying that, for one. That's absurd. Like, y'all know what the catalog look like and don't look like. Because then one man got a catalog, the other man don't. Big Boy got just as many dope features. It's like, really? Okay, we're going to get back to the Nicki thing.
I got to start. Okay,